Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afqer, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. Again, very happy to connect with you today on the live call, and also with those of you who will be either watching or listening to the replay. And also very excited that Deidre is back on the show. She joined us many times before in the past seasons, and I love how she explains some esoteric aspects that are very essential to our and very essential to expressing our purpose here, and also to merge between our spiritual aspects and the human aspects, because this is what we are trying to create here on Earth. And because some aspects sometimes tend to be difficult to understand, but when someone is able to explain that to us, and that awareness really help us to maybe move even faster and integrate those informations and those codes that can help us to have a deeper connection to our truth, to our divine aspects. And so today will be about creating clairvoyantly and awakening the divine intuitive power within. And so we have a discussion about that. And then in the second part of the call, we will have a Q&A where you can ask Anne your questions. So if you are on Zoom app, you can either raise your hand to talk to Anne or type your questions on the chat box. And if you are on YouTube, you can also type your questions on the chat box there. And for those of you who are new to Anne, she is an international celebrity expert on intuition, certified medical intuitive, best-selling author and publisher, professional artist, speaker, and coach. And so that's Anne. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you with us today.
So great to be here, Monsef. Thank you so much. An honor.
Wonderful. So so let's start in the beginning by sharing a little bit about your work for those who from our audience who are still new to what you are offering.
Yeah, so I feel like for myself and so many people that I get to connect with around the world, some of our lives look, sort of ordinary until we have a spiritual awakening. And for me, that happened around 2004, late 2004 into 2005. And I began to meditate with Kriya Yoga meditation. And I had just had a really difficult time in my life. I didn't know it was a dark night of the soul, which was a spiritual crisis. But I know for a lot of us, we're having these awakenings and they're really challenging, right? So this one, I felt like I couldn't function, lasted close to about a year. I was able to go to a health food store and picked up this magazine called Sacred Pathways. And when I opened it up, I saw the face of Yogananda and Norman Paulson and these words, receiving the divine. And I just knew intuitively, although I didn't know intuition back then, that this was something that was calling me. So I ordered the tape back then and I practiced this Kriya Yoga just in my living room with my kids watching SpongeBob in the next room. And I just feel like it was such a, ordinary and extraordinary experience all at once. Within weeks, Monsef, I was standing in my kitchen and I was starting to feel a little bit better. And I saw in my third eye, which I thought was just my imagination, my paintings. I'd been painting just, for hobby, for fun. I didn't take it very seriously, but I saw one of my paintings with words around it. And I had this instant knowing, as well as this clairaudience, which I didn't know what that was at the time either, but I could hear, you will write a book. And I felt like it was like right now. And I was just so guided. I walked into my living room and I started writing in a notebook. Once a week, started to go back to work, take care of my kids. And then once a week, I'd spend some of this time and the book literally just poured out. And that book is this one right here. And the painting with the words around it, so it all came true and it was all so guided. And I knew from that experience where, everything had just been so difficult and challenging and I felt so out of place, things just came together so clearly, right? And I knew from seeing that book in my third eye, my imagination and the way it all came together, that it was miraculous, and I knew that we were all meant to experience these everyday miracles. So literally from that point, I began to just follow my intuition and do energy work and clear my chakras. And just one step seemed more guided. The more steps I took, there were more steps that fell into place to help get me to a place where I felt like energetically I could help other people. So that's my awakening story. And I'm so thankful every day that I get to be here and on this planet and connect with so many people that maybe have similar stories or are just starting their awakening journey or for some time, because I know for all of us, it's just more, right? It's just more evolution, more downloads,
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And so about today's subject, because also you say that we are the mystics of the 21st century, and like we've been learning from the past masters and ascended masters how we also can create and be in the same way they were in the past. And this is our work now to awaken the earth and create miracles. So I would love if you can tell us more about that.
Yes, like I said, for me, Kriya Yoga from Yogananda, Avatar Saint, was a direct line to my mystical self, my higher self, God, source energy, my teams and guides that I didn't know were communicating with me. A lot of us have these collectives and great, divine beings that are working with us. We're just not aware of it. So, mystics, sages, avatars, we're all here together. Some of us are on the planet and masters without realizing it. And some of our, divine friends are still are in spirit or choosing to stay there. I've heard a lot of ascended masters and choosing to be born again on the planet. And so they're very much, aligned with our intention to progress humanity. A lot of us have this calling to elevate the consciousness. And so the avatars and the saints and the mystics, the archangels, there's more and more collectives and the galactic families, Pleiadian, Arcturian, of course, there's just so many amazing groups that we are working with without even realizing it sometimes. So I feel like my work's turned more into sharing energy tools and how we can connect more with our personal teams and collectives. So they are working with us, but sometimes we don't know it, right? So it's good to know who's working with you and how you can expand your own ability to do whatever you came here to do.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing about that. And yeah, I agree. Sometimes we work about other beings, but we are not aware of that. And also in the spiritual community, like opening our third eye is something that's so many are attracted to that subject. But my question is how this can be related to maybe our soul mission or what we are here to create on Earth. Yeah,
I mean, intuition, when I was growing up, it wasn't really discussed. Psychic abilities were kind of out there. Or you'd hear you have a gut instinct, so you have intuition. But when I really started to develop it and work with it and study it and attune with it, really, raising my vibration, taking some of the classes, which even though a lot of us come in innately intuitive and psychic, even I found for me just having some courses here and there, like medical intuition and angel reading in particular, to help develop some of these things. And with the third eye, I did start to paint. I thought it was a little hobby. I didn't realize, which is true for a lot of us, we have these awakening journeys that really make sense later on, but in the moment they don't make sense. So for me, I'm like, why am I painting? Like, I don't really know why, but it's fun. And find out years later that intuition and particularly clairvoyance is developed through visual. So if you go to a museum, take pictures on your smartphone, that the right hemisphere, creation, creativity, intuition, those are oracle cards will help develop your third eye. Painting, even if you don't think you're a very good painter, I'd say pick up some paints. You're developing your clairvoyance. So the clairvoyance is so helpful because, like I said, from my book, it just literally popped in. I thought it was my imagination, except, when you get these intuitive downloads through the third eye, there's they resonate. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't ignore this. Like, I literally saw a book. And even if I had been thinking, which I had maybe 5 years prior, wouldn't it be nice to write a book, right? A lot of us have, well, that'd be nice. But the energy behind the third eye vision is such that it's literally, you get the download of everything you need to do in order to bring that into being, which was just remarkable, right? So it wasn't just, I think I'll write a book. It's like, I'm writing a book. Like, I feel like it's already written because I can see it. So it's got a little bit different energy than kind of, and I do say, sit around and say, I wonder what it would be like to write a book. I encourage that because that's universal dialogue. But from what my experience and working, with so many great people around the world, it's like, we can develop this so you get the download, so you can see clearly, hear clearly, feel clearly, because it feels great to know, that this part of your calling that maybe hasn't become evident yet is suddenly more real than it's ever been, and that you're so supported in doing it. So yeah, the Avatar Saints and all of us here working together, and the third eye clairvoyance is a wonderful way to receive your information ongoing, because our mission will continue to evolve. And it's like, once I wrote the book, then something else pops in. I get visions of programs I'm going to create, or talks that I'm going to give. I can literally see myself giving the talk. So it's really, really great to be able to receive your information ahead of time and then be so connected to how to bring it into being. That's what's different for me about, third eye versus kind of just overall, reflecting, which is powerful too, but there's a little bit of a different energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And also there is, how to say, it feels there is more flow coming that we experience when it's about the information that we are receiving through our third eye or intuition. And also many times, for example, like you said, a book, many times we feel that it's something very difficult and it will take a very long time. But when we are in that flow of energy, it's kind of like the things that we want to create can feel more flowing and more easy to create.
Yes, absolutely. You get the divine guidance along with the divine.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I have the signature template of Miraculous creation method. And I would love if you can tell us and our audience about that.
Yeah, so I think for a lot of us, we have a reality where things happen to us. And years ago, things started to shift in my intuition in terms of my divine guidance on how to create a new reality, not just, let things happen, but to create what it would be that I would choose to experience. And so then I was given a creation template, working with a few ways with a couple different creation templates. Actually, one is the thank you, God, I now have, recognizing with the law of attraction, law of alignment, that the distance between where you are and where you want to be really is a little bit of a map or a roadway, but you also can bring it into your energy in the now, right? So the creation template is, we may have heard it before, but we may not really, do it like we've heard. And that is to feel as if it's already happening and you're happy about it, right? So don't delay the happiness of how you're going to feel once you get there. Because I think, growing up, when your birthday was coming up, or you always want to have something to look forward to, it's like we're almost conditioned to do that, right? But if we bring it into the now and there's nothing missing, then the law of attraction, law of alignment can really work like a science and be the match. So I like that it's science. I like that it's not debatable, and that it is an energy of alignment that can bring into being that which we would choose to experience. So I say, thank you, God, I now have for my template, and I'll imagine and feel like it already is. And I started to do this for myself fairly early on without recognizing it was an actual template of creation. So like while I was cooking dinner, anytime if I wasn't driving, I would see myself on stage and speaking, and I was really, really afraid to do that. So the energy work with the creation template and just imagining that you're already doing it and you're having a good time and, laughing or whatever, you imagine, by doing the energy work ahead of time with the creation template, that you're in the now doing it, can bring the energy to it and help you overcome any blocks or obstacles. Because I did have quite a few to some of the things that I could see myself doing and pretend almost well, this is fun because you're in your imagination, but the energy can actually support the new reality to occur. And now I can speak, without any of the blocks that I used to have because of the creation template. So thank you, God. I now have, a wonderful, I say lifestyle work for myself and my clients. A lot of the time, there's a new energy behind what we do here, whether it has a title or not, or thank you, God, with my relationships and create the energetic container to bring into reality that creation. That's one of the templates is to thank you, God, and thank you in advance is so powerful. It just is. Before you actually receive or you're experiencing it, thank you in advance. So thank you, I now have, and then think and see and feel what it is you would choose to create. Also, the 4-step plan I was given is receive a divinely inspired idea. That's step 1, and pay attention to them. So a lot of time we get ideas like, oh, I think I'll write a book, and then we don't do anything with it. It doesn't really go away, I don't think, but it definitely goes dormant, right? So notice your divinely inspired ideas, write them down, call them divinely inspired ideas, because that will help your conscious intention create that more of that awareness that you're actually doing it and giving it energy, paying attention to it, expanding the energy. So you receive a divinely inspired idea, you see and feel as if it already is, just like the other creation template. You're seeing the book being written, you're imagining, you're feeling great, you're signing it, whatever it is for you. The 3rd step is plan. Planning is so fun. It's actually preliminary. 4th step is action. So I'm saying when you're planning, you're not actually in action mode, but you're, again, giving it more energy, that which you would choose to create. So get a notebook and a calendar. I'd say go no more than 3 weeks out, write a book or start a business or whatever you want to create. And if it's 3 weeks out, fine, but block that time. I would say, an hour or 2, in a Sharpie, not in pencil, and let everybody in your life know, including yourself, that that's a commitment that you're putting in place. That's why I say go out a few weeks, because you're serious about it, and plan it in advance. Like get all your meal prep done if you have others that you're caring for. Again, that's initiating the energy to support in a really highly energetic, divine way, that which you would align to create with. So planning can be fun because you're doing all the in advance things that you would, people say, oh, I'm going to write a book, and I sit down and it's not there. That's because you jumped from step 1 to step 4, right? So see it and feel it like it's already done. Make your list of plan. If you're going to get a backup for your computer before you start writing, which, depending on how you save your work, you don't want to be halfway through writing your book. And so the little things, have fun planning and get really detail oriented with that, because when you take action, which is step 4, everything can flow together so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like for me, planning, it brings more clarity about what you're actually creating, because many times the stress or fear and anxiety we are feeling, it's just a lack of clarity. But when we try to make things more clear and plan for them, it can be very helpful.
Yeah.
True. And also like receiving guidance and intuitive informations. Sometimes it comes very specific. In other times, it's more general. And is it more like an invitation for us to get involved in that also? Or because many times when we tend to want things to be very specific because it feels easier, and the decision it's much easier. So what is your perspective about that?
About being like too specific about what you would choose and maybe being more.
Yeah, about wanting to.
Oh, you're cutting.
That is very specific.
Yep, you cut out for just a second, the recording.
Okay. Is it good now?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's more how because sometimes it's the intuition it's more general. It's not very specific. So what's the purpose of that? Why sometimes we don't receive very specific guidance?
Yeah, I feel that it's ongoing like intuitive developments, seeing, hearing, feeling, knowing, because there is a gut instinct. We can check in with our heart. We can see if it lights us up. But for me, when it comes to specific directions, literally directives, channeling, for instance, that was a development that I did through developing my intuitive senses, my psychic senses. So you could go from something that seems a little, here or there, to what I call grounded application of intuition. And I will pull, or oracle cards, state my question and ask. So setting an intention that you would like to receive information. I say, higher self guide me every morning. And I say, I align my will with divine will. To me, those are two avenues of direct connect, because we're in a highly dimensional world, right? There's all kinds of bombardments, depending on like this or that or this happening. And so we may be getting more direct information, but we may not be recognizing it, right? So you want to get that clear pathway. So I connect with light, actually above my head. That's another one I do, is I connect with light. I bring down white gold light. Typically there's other light choices depending on how I'm feeling that day, but bring in my own personal vortex of direct connect to source energy. And imagine that light coming down through my 11th chakra, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, all the way down through my 7 main chakras, energy centers, down into the Earth Star chakra below my feet and into the crystalline grid of the earth. That way I've connected as above, so below, in an illuminated portal of energy. And I feel that information can download right to me where I'm intending, and I'm not going to miss it. So using some energy tools.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, with time and with more practice, it gets more easier and more natural for us to understand. Yeah, beautiful. And also in a little bit, everyone will start taking questions, and Anne will do intuitive readings for you. So if you want to ask her a question, you can raise your hand on Zoom app or type your questions on the chat box. And also you can type them on the on YouTube on the chat box. And so we are offering a free gift and also a special offer as a private session. And I will share the link. Let's start first with the free gifts. I will share the link on the chat box. And also it's available on the live events page. There is the free gifts button. And also it will be later available on the replay page. So yeah, and I would love if you can tell us more about this gift pack.
Yes. In my gift pack, it's all about your intuition and how helpful it is in your life. So the free gift is around learning more about your intuition, so much information, the energy centers. Each of us have energy centers within us. For me, I'm a psychic life coach. So all of my products and gifts and all of my services are around helping you access more of that personal information within you. Whether it's belief systems you don't know you're holding, you can just dissolve them more quickly than ever these days, and also receive your gifts, talents, and abilities that you came with, including the 9th chakra. All the chakras give us information on a soul level, individual soul level of what we're here to share. So my free gift and my special offer is a 45-minute clairvoyant reading where I will specifically look with my third eye to see your past life and how that can be integrated into your present timeline life, and also work together where two or more gathered into your future timeline. So I can see what you came here to do, what energies you're here to anchor. You're here to elevate consciousness and frequency, most likely. So I can see what specifically you're here to assist with that. And really, it's a life purpose reading and well-being reading, and a lot of fascinating information about you, because you all have so much that you came in with, and I'd love to help you, see what's really here for you in that clairvoyant reading. It's 45-minute reading with me.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Anne, for both the free gifts and also the one-on-one private reading 45 minutes. And also the link for the private session, I also put it on the chat box. And you will find also the special offer button on the live events page and the replay page, and later on the YouTube video description. And the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/Anne, yourdivineuniqueness.com/ANNE. So yeah, thank you so much, Anne. And let's see for the questions. So again, you can either type on the chat box or raise your hand. Let's start first one from the chat box, and then we take a caller. It's from Katie Speck. Hola from Panama, Monsef and Anne. I have done a lot of work. It's also interesting, always working on strengthening my intuitive abilities. Now in the process of launching a business, I'm feeling some resistance or blocks, and I'm experiencing procrastination and frustration with that. I also get downloads, wondering if it's the distraction of shiny object syndrome excuse. Would appreciate any help.
Okay, and it's Katie.
Yes.
And I'm here. If I can unmute, I don't mind
Yes.
going so much too. Is that better for you? And
yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Okay, let me do that.
I'm working with my Oracle card deck, which is my artwork and channeling. So I did say my prayer before I got on with all of you. So we'll see what comes through with this. Okay, so any blocks, and I'll tell you the card, and I'll also, and when I work also, it's something you're going to recognize. There could be some prophecies. You may not recognize it, could be coming up for you. And I work as an energy healing reader. So I work with a divine energy team to release subconscious blocks and belief systems. So as I'm talking and where you're talking, the divine energy team helps to clear anything in the way. Okay, so just know that. So when I'm saying things, there's actually some clearing taking place in the field. To start, we're going to start with the question about the business, and you're sensing some blocks around that. Okay, so it's interesting. Again, this is the card I pulled for you, Katie. Your true self will always prevail. Cafe. So as I connect with your energy and your question and the divine guidance here, I see the numbers 999 on the card, and they feel significant. So whether you realize it or not, you're closing out. We call this, completion in the spiritual world. It's a wonderful energy to be complete with something, because a part of your soul recognizes that when you start something new, you're very mindful and conscientious, and a little bit of a got to be perfect kind of thing, which could be one of your anchors frequencies that you came in to help resolve and alleviate the planet of, quite frankly. So just notice everything you're going through is not only for yourself to transform, but as you transform it, you are transforming the world. You have a global impact with your energy. So that's really good news, right? So as you move forward, you're actually unlocking and unleashing others to move forward too. So you are working individually and collectively. So this 999 energy, I feel like you have walked between worlds before. You've actually been a spirit guide on the other side. So this is a little bit different for you sometimes to, be more human and go through some of the challenges that we do on the human plane here. But just know that these are emotional content for you to be able to observe and notice. And when you notice and observe that this is happening, you're actually applying a divine frequency to transform it. So you're working with the divine feminine energy of transformation by paying attention to your feelings, which, however that sounds, is a very big deal. The emotional realm can be very heavy on this planet. So being very compassionate with yourself, letting yourself move forward. Something like, do we want to move forward today? Connecting with your inner child, which, believe it or not, is very powerful. Your second energy center and your third energy center are kind of in conflict right now. So you want to address all of you, your ego, personality, higher self, and work aligned in mind, body, spirit, and then you'll be moving forward in more flow and less resistance. And we'll clear anything in the way that. Thank you, God, and so it is. All right. Thank you for your question.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ian. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, One Up.
Thank you, Katie. And also thank you, Anne, for the guidance. And let's see. We have Caroline. Can you unmute yourself?
Hi, this is Caroline.
Hi.
Fine.
Hello, beautiful. Will you just pull a card for me, or do you want a specific question?
Be open. Yep. So great. All right. So with faith, we transcend. Now, let's see. There's some channeling on the back. Sometimes I look at it, sometimes I don't. So I'm actually guided to look at it. I'm also guided. Interesting. All right. So I've been guided so far with both of you. When numbers are present, that does signal me a galactic and angelic connection and vibration. So Caroline, that says that you are working in the flow of synchronicity. And anytime, if you ever feel like if there's a delay in things, again, working in a highly energetic planet, all you have to do is really use your command. A command that I feel resonates with you very clearly is I am that I am, and command and claim the synchronicities that are meant to occur for you. You're an energy master. You have energy abilities of alchemy. All right. So you can shift energy. I feel Archangel Uriel working with you to illuminate energy. And so again, with Katie, energy mastery to me, working with noble compassion, noticing your feelings, witness and noticing what's going out without engaging specifically with what's happening, allows you to bring through that higher frequency. So with faith, we transcend. So it's like you are in the bigger picture mode, which allows you to see more intuitively if you choose to. And you're here to bring that higher vibration down to earth at the same time. So you can transcend, rise above, and then you're bringing it back. So if you don't know exactly how to connect with that, and if it resonates, tend to anchor more high vibrational frequency, and you will be shown what's next with that.
No, you have me right on. And actually, Archangel Uriel actually came to me 2 days ago so that you would mention that. Is beautiful.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Once I have written my book, because I have started, could I reach out to you for assistance on getting it out there? And
yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'm intuitive. I love doing that. That's one of the things that I like to say. I divinely specialize in. Yes, been guided by spirit on doing that exactly. So it would be honor. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much.
Blessings. Thank you too.
Okay.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Let's see. We have a question from Kate. Hi, I would like a reading about starting a new path towards a new career change. Thank you.
Okay, I've got expect miracles. All right, so this card is significant, and if I'm guided to share a little story about it, Kate will request that this bless your energy with your question. Expect miracles. There's a way of working with ordinary reality, which is kind of what we get born into a lot of the times, and our life goes along a certain kind of path or pathway or several different pathways. And then there's the pathway of conscious intention. And the way that I learned that was when I was painting for over a decade at a point. And then I had my spiritual awakening, my connection through Kriya Yoga. I started to say a prayer. Literally, I call on my higher self. I call on God's source energy. Sometimes I call on our archangel ascended masters, but I mainly call on my higher self and God in company, what I call them when I do speaking, when I do writing, when I do career path planning. So if you're not doing it already, say a prayer of intention. So I said a prayer before I did this painting. It was the first time I'd ever said a prayer before I painted, and I got I got some drummers there drumming on the beach. I got Yogananda. I don't know if you can see it, but Yogananda's in there. The eyes of Jesus, Yeshua in there. Ganesh, Lord Ganesh is in there with the elephants. So they all popped into the painting. So my message with that, and the divine message with that, is set your conscious intention. We can do that together, that your career path will be a blessing and that you will be blessed, and that synchronicities and out of the blue experiences can open up for you spontaneously, that you start to feel so guided and you recognize the signs throughout the day of what to take action on and what to research further. Because I do feel like there'll be some things that you may want to research and get to know how you feel, because your feelings, true feelings from your heart, are really the hallmark of the next steps that we're here to experience. So next steps, next level is very heart-centered for you and for all of us. So thank you for your question.
Yeah. Thank you, Kate. And thank you so much, Anne. Let's see. That's all. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Montef.
You're welcome.
And nice to have your acquaintance. My question is regarding, I have tremendous blocks with abundance, particularly financial abundance. And I've had very high highs and low lows, and I'm in a low right now. And I also have problems with clutter and being disorganized. So if I reach out to you and petition you, if you can help me in any way, shape, or form.
Yes. Thank you for the question. And
clear.
first again,
Is that
how do I spell your name?
DET?
Det. Thank you for your question. Yes, I did pull a card. I'd like to connect like that during my readings here, like this. Allow the light to transform you, lit from within. As you were talking, because when you're talking and when I'm talking, I can start to hear my divine guides, clairaudient, just so you know. So I was getting a lot of downloads as you were talking, and I was seeing, a couple different things. The clutter is a sign of creativity, and I might say some things you don't recognize, which could be from a past life, but I feel like part of your life purpose and your transformation, and I'm hearing the word money alchemy, okay, because you've walked in worlds where creativity was highly favored, and you've worked in worlds where creativity was not so highly favored. So what that means is when you've got a couple different belief systems, it's like they're conflicted with each other. You understand? And when you have conflicting energies, some of the things that can happen, which is you're experiencing, is the clutter can start to accumulate, because clutter also has an energy. It kind of keeps you in feeling like stuck mode. So you're not imagining it, because you've got
correct, absolutely correct.
So what we can do here is we're going to clear multi-time, space, dimension, reality, hologram, energetic fields, anywhere where, so sounds funny, but when you make peace and befriend the clutter, you are transforming it. So when you see a little pile, right? Pick up a piece of whatever it is, a paperwork, not like you're at odds with it and conflict, not like you have to do anything about it, because have to, need to, and should aren't part of your world. Can and get to can replace that, right? And you get to be in inquiry mode. So then you're turning the energy of clutter into an opportunity and invitation for self-care and self-knowledge and self-wisdom. And you can begin to look at this all with more interest. And when you send interest and love to a situation that's difficult, you're transforming it. So little practice of allotting a little bit of a part of your day in can and get to mode, and picking up a few pieces, because clutter and everything around us, we're an energy universe, right? Everything is messages, everything is energy. So you're open and allowing the message of the clutter to come through. Once you get the message, you're not going to feel like you want to surround yourself with it so much. All right. So There's a little bit of self discovery, which is bringing in some self-love and some good energy with that. You're also here, like we said, to bring in a money alchemy. So you've got the spiritual teacher blueprint. As you're working, partnering with these feelings that are difficult, you're actually neutralizing the conflict with it, and you will notice yourself to start to move forward. So making peace with it, even the feeling of being in the low. The other parts about the higher low I've seen with a lot of light workers, where it's kind of like the superpower that a lot of us have had. How bad can it get before we, throw on our cape and go, look what I just did? And it's a little sliver of subconscious belief that I know I went through this, and a lot of people I work with and I've worked with have gone through this too. That is that you don't have to go to the edge anymore to fly. Okay. So let's bring in the energy of consistency, of how good can it get, and stay there and allow yourself to entrain into a higher vibrational frequency where it doesn't feel so high and low, but the Zen is actually a high frequency where you're not moved by the highs and lows, but you're adjusting to the higher vibrational energy and staying there. And in that higher vibrational energy, you're going to bring forth some divine wisdom on the topic of money alchemy. And I see you helping a lot of people with this as you go through it yourself.
Gratitude and thanks. Gratitude and thanks for that. Good life and a long life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dad, and also thank you, Anne. And also that message was I feel inspiring to all of us, because the limiting belief that we need to struggle first before to be worthy of receiving abundance that we deserve. It's many of us experiences. So also, I think when we have more and more love to ourselves and value ourselves, we don't have that belief as strong as before.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Thank you. And so we have Haley. Hi, Anne. Will you pull a card for me about spiritual blocks I've been experiencing lately?
Okay. And when I hear that, maybe I'm going to pull a card first. Love is eternal and unconditional. Spiritual. So spiritual energy is your true nature. It is eternal. It's funny. It's like I see it with you so strongly that it doesn't feel the block, but I'm looking at the little, what we call the clouds in front of the sun kind of thing. So we're bringing in some central sun energy. We're actually connected to the planet Sirius, central sun, solar logos. If you can just imagine, we're doing a little energy work here to help transform what you consider to be spiritual blocks, and understand that your spiritual power is always there. But again, you also chose to incarnate on a time on the planet. Thank you very much, to help elevate the consciousness. So part of the energies of the emotional realm, the mental realm, the physical realm, and the spiritual realm, you're working to be able to integrate different energies into a powerful connection with each other. We talk about the head and the heart sometimes, or the left brain, right brain, intellect and rational, reasonable, logical information, our left brain, and right brain, creative and intuitive. So it's interesting, your question about spiritual blocks, but I also see beyond that into an integration of flow between how you receive information. So that's happening on the planet right now. So we're talking about, right brain development, right hemisphere, and you're part of that. So how you process information, you're getting more heart-centered as well. So that seems a little more, how am I feeling? Is that really important? Because the left brain logical, if that's a dominant part of your existence, you may talk yourself out of things. So let's say your spiritual energy is very strong and powerful, and we're just going to get anything out of the way of that awareness in all time, space, dimension, reality, holographic, morphic, genetic fields. I also feel that part of your genetic line, you're here to alchemize that really to, and the ancestral lines, clear, whatever prior belief systems existed before you can now be, ended. Those contracts are ended where you are at odds with your spiritual self, and you can help move forward into the new earth, new energy of feeling all of what you came here to experience, all of your soul power. Thank you, God, and so it is. All right, so thank you for your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anne, and thank you, Haley. She wrote, clouds in front of the sun is so spot on for me. I've been doing a lot of ancestral healing. Thank you, Anne. And also feedback from Kate. Thank you, Blue and Archangel Michael are also energies I always work with. Great card and painting. Let's see. Joanne, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, Anne.
Hi.
My question is, I have a block on doing shadow work, and I don't know what the block is.
Okay.
And I love shadow work. I love the learning, and I love the growing, and I love the healing. So I don't know what my block is.
Okay. Blocks to me have shifted a bit. So I feel like part of this is going to be, I've got the kingdom of heaven is within you. So let's do a little channeling around that and some block clearing around shadow work. Okay. I don't know, when I get things, how much you're helping people right now, but I feel like the more people you help, the more access you're going to have to that state of being that is more unwavering. Because part of the spiritual blueprint says that we're here to experience the blocks and what it feels like to feel blocked and stuck and things like that. But ultimately, even noticing that you're feeling like this will help to begin to transform it. So partner with it. Like you said, you're very strong spiritually, and you have that, shaman, medicine woman power.
Yeah, I do a lot of healings for other people.
Yeah. So are you clearing your own energy enough when you've got empath and you can take some other things on? Because I know for me too, I don't see it as block. I see it more like, I call it slivers of energy now when I see this.
Okay.
So even the terminology, let's let block go. And that,
Okay.
our slivers of energy that might have, decided that if they hang out with you a little longer, you're going to release them because they want to go back to the light,
Yeah.
So increase your light, keep increasing the amount of light you're bringing through, and it just has to dissolve. You understand? That's the
yeah.
sign of it.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Ask it if it has a message. Ask it if it has a message for you.
Okay.
Imagine anything hanging out has something to tell us, and invite it as Buddha did to inform you, and as such it releases.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne, and thank you, Anne. Let's see. We have Lorena. Please pull a card for me. What do my guides want to tell me? Thank you.
Okay, Lorena. Only love is real. Got angels and spirals and a golden rose. So very connected with what I call the cosmic elemental realm, which is the realm of the animal, mineral, and plant and crystal kingdoms, and really very magical. So yeah, sparkles of light. They're just showing me some different things for this with you. You really are here to live in an enchanted realm here on earth. So seeing the extraordinary in the everyday, a lot of fun and joy, a lot of great second chakra energy here for you with the fairies in particular. So I don't know how consciously you're working with fairies. When I get information, it's very, very clear to me and present, but sometimes it could be out there a little bit because it comes to me the same way. Prophecy to me is here now. So if you haven't connected a lot with the angelic realm, the fairy realm, working with crystals, for instance, even animal communication, that these are all magical realms that are here as your spiritual team, as your divine team. So a stone you pick up, a plant or tree. So you've got a tree connection too. Each of the different trees have spiritual meanings and different ways of working with them. So it's just a sparkling nature universe around you. So have fun connecting with it. And thank you for your question.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Anne. And also thank you, Lorena. And we still have 6 minutes left. Do we take question from a caller, or do you have maybe a message to share? Okay.
Yeah, whoever.
Okay. So Angie, can you please unmute yourself? Yes.
Yes, I'm knowing that I'm in a space of shifting and changing, and I'd like you to pull a card to see where I
You
go.
got, all right, you got it. All right, so I pulled Never Give Up, Calm After the Storm, okay? Kind of matches you. You've chosen this card as a reminder to never give up, never, ever, ever give up. Oftentimes what we're searching for becomes available in divine timing. Trust that God hears your prayers and answers them. What is meant to be for your highest good will be. Trust that. The eternal sun is always shining behind the clouds. Find the gift in any difficulty you're facing, and this will help you transcend it and move back into joy. So what's your specific question again? You said moving forward.
That I've just let go of, I've had a number of people die, and I feel like I have space to know how to move forward now.
You know, interesting. I do specialize in intuition and intuitive gifts. And when you said that, I don't know if you're already working with mediumship, but your love and your connection with the spiritual world is quite strong. So transforming grief and working in that energy of helping others with that, because the energy of the never give up does speak to the eternal plane, right? That nothing real is ever threatened, that there's always a connection. Nothing is ever really lost or gone. But a lot of people feel like that, and you may have felt like that. But there's something really transformative with grief that you've processed and are processing, and could help other people process in a highly spiritualized way. So whether you've thought about this or not, that's what's coming to me from my spiritual guidance about what's possible for you. Because, you know, with what we go through in life, and is often an opportunity, an invitation to be in the place of what, you know, we say assisting or divine service with that. That's the spiritual teacher blueprint that I see.
Thank you so much. I did consider it about a year ago, and this past year has drawn me more deeply into it. So it's helpful to get that clarity. Thank you.
Sure. Such an honor. Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Angie. And thank you also, Anne. Yeah, we still have a couple of minutes. Do we add one more from the chat? Okay. Is it, do you need to know the first name, or just initials are okay? Okay.
Either one. Yeah.
Okay. It's from KZ. Would love to receive guidance on my mission. Thank you in advance.
Okay, KZ. All right. And even if I pull the same card, there's a different message every time. So, KZ, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Let me connect here. The color green, I'm hearing the words green light. So green light to me is like a project or something. So if you're not fully aware of something you want to move forward with right now, we talked about this a little bit earlier, working with intuition. stating something, say, thank you, God, thank you, Spirit, thank you, Source, thank you, higher self. I'm now bringing forth what's truly aligned for me in the highest good and highest good for all. And I think that's helpful to say it that way for all of us, all this listening, because a lot of us are light workers and we've used creation and we've created things in the past. And we may have created it from an egoic structure, or just from, just a lack of awareness about, what it was we were creating in our lives, not realizing what we were creating was, wasn't intentional. So I'm getting, with this card, the green light for you to, align my will with divine will. I'm now bringing through my spiritual abilities. I do get you have spiritual abilities, intuitive abilities, healing abilities, in the highest good and highest good for all. Working with green light too. So green light to me is that, project moving forward, it gets green lighted. That's what they say in the, in the movie community. But green light for you also, I get, is an angelic color with Archangel Raphael, where green energy, the green ray, in particular the green ray of the angelic rays, brings forth new growth, financial abundance, growth for yourself and others. So I feel like working, surrounding yourself with green light, actually calling it white, green light, golden green light together. If you don't know exactly what it is you want to do, enveloping yourself in this green light, if you activate your intuition, your higher self, plus your guide speaking. Like I said, the last thing I thought I was going to do on that Saturday in 2004 was write a book, right? But there was, sharp energy work I was doing. I was connecting to higher realms, and they just downloaded it to me spontaneously. So I feel that green light is going to really work with you to activate that intuitive activity for you. So thank you.
I was on mute.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Anne. And also thank you, Casey, for your question. And so Anne, I'm so grateful to you for all the support you brought to our audience, and also the information and inspiration you shared with us today. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mansa. Thank you, everyone. An honor. So much fun.
Thank you. And also, everyone, I highly recommend that you get the free gifts. It's Awaken Your Divine Intuitive Power, Activating Gift Set. It's on the chat box. And also, Anne is offering 45 minutes private reading session. I will put the link also on the chat box. And you will find also the links. There is the free gifts button and special offer button, both on the live events page and later on the replay page. And also they will be available on YouTube video description for the replay. So so again, thank you, Anne, and thank you, everyone. Very grateful to everyone. And I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.